And welcome back to Drama Time. It's been a while since we did this one, talking about your childhood confessions and criminal acts like taking packs out of the Walmart stalls. Are you guys excited for this one?
Very excited to be back on Drama Time, dude. I'm ready to dive into some of these old legacy stories and see where these villain arcs kind of debuted.
I appreciate that this has stopped being like will of the council and has started being therapy. So first and foremost, if you're a child holding on to guilt from stealing from Walmart in 2001, you are absolved. In fact, if you did it last week, you're absolved for that too. Don't worry about it.
What about last week? Ugh, might have been on a naughty list for that one.
Ho, ho, ho.
Let's begin with the peanut butter apocalypse. My Locals was a card shop arcade hybrid. It was very large and there were often over 50 people there split between card games and machines. There was Pac-Man, Street Fighter, and most importantly, Tekken. And a functional dual terminal in the corner out of the sight of the front desk.
How many of y'all have played a functional dual terminal machine?
I've never played a functional dual machine because they've always been broken every single time that I've seen one.
There's a couple of YCSs where vendors will bring them, and there's always kind of a line for them. But you can put in money, if you're unfamiliar, to a dual terminal machine and get some cards. Or you can perform a duel and get some cards. And the duel takes like 10 minutes and it's super boring. So most people just use them as like a gotcha machine. My Cataster that I play with in Edison came from a dual terminal.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, they're really sweet. Of the vendors that bring them, I think one just actively scams and puts in terrible DT foil rarities, and the other one like will put cool
Wait,
stuff
they
in.
have control over it? I thought it was like sort of
Yeah.
Yeah, you just fill it up in the back.
No, they come in like little boxes. Like you order them from Konami and they come in boxes that are like pre-made. and you're supposed to just drop
can
them
do
in.
that, but no one's checking that shit anymore.
Yeah.
This is
Because
definitely
it's like,
a,
oh, why would I give the peon my DT Trish when I could just have it for myself? Like,
Exactly right.
This is definitely like an NA thing, because I've never seen one. I've never like physically been in the presence
dude,
of a dual
when you come,
terminal.
you're coming to NA soon, right? We'll go fuck up a dual terminal.
Fuck up a dual what are the duels like? Is it like a computer game style thing, or
It's awful. They're like like a tutorial level of the first level of Duel Links.
One day, both the Tekken machine and the dual terminal were vandalized. The Tekken machine had a slot to insert a memory card or controller, I believe, and it, alongside the dual terminal slots, were filled with peanut butter.
peanut butter.
Our local owner demanded to see everyone's hands and asked us to confess who did it. No one knew, and the cameras, if they were even real, were so bad that they couldn't actually deduce who done it.
Wait, sorry. I'm just trying to get over the local owner trying to see everyone's hand. As if seeing the hands is going to catch the nut butter culprit.
Nut butter. I don't know, like, if this is normal, but every like business just has cameras, and like 90% of them don't work. Like, they're just there to like be some sort of like, you know, aesthetic deterrent.
Panopticon style shit. Yeah.
Me and my brother Winda did eat peanut butter and jelly that day, but we didn't have jars with us or anything. The globs were too big to have come from the sandwiches our parents made us. I was 10 years old, and I looked up to my older brother. He was 16 and a pretty good kid. Next week, same story. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon Locals are going, and someone screams that the dual terminal has been peanut buttered again. Somehow, someway, no one saw it happen. Our local owner says no one leaves till he learns who did it. No one confesses. Legally, he obviously couldn't keep us here forever, and so we were just let out after 30 minutes of him practically begging. Rumors began to spread. Maybe it was a Pokemon or a Magic player that hated Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe it was the owner's young son who played there and always acted up. One day, back again at the local, I noticed that my brother Winda had a small hair gel tub, and it was filled with peanut butter. He smeared it on the card slot and a few arcade machine buttons intentionally, then sucked all the evidence off his fingers and walked away casually. I'll never know why. I can almost imagine like Gage doing this. I just have very
Why me?
I just have really visceral images of you with certain clips and stuff that circulate on Twitter with your, you know, skills.
I mean, this does seem like something I'm capable of doing. I'm not gonna lie. I could definitely be the nut butter vandalizer. That's crazy. This is crazy.
This
bro.
is demonic. I mean, what can we say?
I didn't tell anyone. I couldn't. Not that he'd beat me up or anything, but because he's my brother, and I didn't want to see him get in trouble. Week 3, and he peanut butters the Duel terminal and Pac-Man machine this time.
That's too far. You can't peanut butter the Pac-Man machine.
Oh, really? You're okay with
There's
Yu-Gi-Oh stuff
some
being vandalized, but not Pac-Man?
Yeah, there's some boundaries you gotta set here. The Pac-Man machine's off limits, because that's the normies and stuff. You can't expose them to the peanut butter fiasco.
Didn't want to defend the
This is
Tekken
like,
machine, huh?
can we just bring up that this is like actually like probably terrorist behavior because somebody could be allergic to peanut butter,
That is also
and
a
then
big
like
deal, yeah.
you could actually like probably kill somebody from doing.
The owner says that if no one confesses, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon tournaments are done for the summer. I don't tell. And Winda doesn't confess. Owner follows through. No Yu-Gi-Oh! For the next couple of months. The months pass, and only me and a couple of others return for Yu-Gi-Oh! Our once flourishing 20-player locals are empty. And other local stores are where they go now. I see some players I recognize, but they're playing arcade games or Pokemon instead. And over the next few months, Yu-Gi-Oh! At that locals just dies. The month off migrated everyone. And my brother, who I could have told on, is the cause. I never even told him that I saw him do it. Is the death of local Yu-Gi-Oh! My fault?
What is it like having Patrick Bateman as a brother? Like, what the hell? Like, what do you mean you never confronted him about that? You weren't even curious? You were never going to be like,
why?
hey, bro, why are you putting peanut butter in the arcade cabinet?
I'm also really curious the process of getting the peanut butter into a hair gel bottle. Like, did he use the whole hair gel bottle?
I think what he's
clean it
talking
out?
about
This is fully
isn't like a
premeditated.
toothpaste tube. I think it's like a bottle of like, or a tub of like pomade.
Is
right?
it a hair
So-
gel, right?
okay.
You know what hair
Yeah,
gel
all
is?
you would need is an empty tub, and then you take the
Yeah.
peanut butter from a jar and put it in there. I do
That
like the
makes
concept that he's like, I put it in a toothpaste tube because I can jam the end of the tube in the slot and just spread it. That would have been really smart.
My favorite thing about this is it's like, this is premeditated, right? Like, you gotta set that
Yeah.
up.
Oh, you don't accidentally end up with a tub of peanut butter.
Yeah, this is not manslaughter peanut butter. This is like premeditated in the kitchen, scooping
This
it
is
out
first
of the
degree,
jar.
baby.
It's yeah, no, I'm really curious, like, what psychologically has to happen for you to be like, I'm gonna smear peanut butter all over my locals.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, how do you even come clean about something like that, right?
Come clean.
Like, someone's peanut buttered our
Hey, sorry,
Or-
it was me. I thought it would be funny.
Based
Like,
and
what-
epic. Yeah,
I
sorry,
don't-
it was me.
Psychopathic behavior from the brother. You never. Maybe he had a good reason. Maybe he was like, I fucking hate Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't want to keep coming here. I'm coming here because my brother is my friend. But if they cancel Yu-Gi-Oh! Events, then I won't have to come here anymore.
Wait, that's like a really... I didn't even think about it that far. I just thought maybe...
Yeah, we're getting inside the mind of the butter
Yeah.
bandit. So he did this as a like the protest of not having to take his brother to locals. So he tried to get themselves into criminal activity, I guess.
Like, okay, here's the other thing is, I guess the reason you never confronted him is because he's much older than you. But like, this is something I could see like a freaky like 8-year-old doing, like the kind of like insane child that wishes people to the cornfield, right? But this guy was 16. That's like functionally an adult. Like, and he's just showing up to destroy items. Like, what's going on there?
I don't know,
Teenagers
would
are
you-
demons.
Yeah, of course teenagers are, like, awful and stuff like that. Like, you ever see teenagers just hang around the mall? You ever do that?
I think that's the sign
normal.
of a flourishing environment. I actually, not to get on a tangent here, I would hate to do that on this show.
Don't bring
but,
up property values.
Yeah, the mall in my hometown in Topeka is finally being destroyed, basically, and you go in and it's just totally empty. And I was like, oh man, malls are over. There's no more. Well, the mall around us is so tightly populated that there are like 2007 era mall like scene kids wearing like the big ass hair and the tails and shit, and I'm like, well, great, and they're 14, so they weren't even born when we were doing that. So I do think that it's part of a healthy mall ecosystem for there to be that type of child, but I will admit they're also really annoying.
Well, I mean, would you
Okay,
rather
so-
your teenage kid be out like smoking in back alleys or peanut buttering his locals? I guess. Which?
Yeah, my
what would be
experience
worse?
is the kids who are doing the mall goth shit are having like really like unshowered sex, and like that's better than peanut buttering a dual terminal machine.
So I guess the big question is though, are you telling on your own brother if you saw him?
He's 6
commit
years
this
older than
atrocity?
you. He's like an authority figure, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would tell on my brother if I caught him spreading some nut butter all over the dual terminal machine. I think I would just keep it to myself. I would ask questions.
I would ask
for
him.
sure would
Certainly
ask,
you have
like,
to ask
why are we doing this? But
I think that's the
would
thing. It's
definitely
like you would
back him
confront
up.
him privately, maybe. Like, hey, so what's the deal with this? I mean, I guess your 10-year-old brain isn't probably going to be into the psychology of it, but at least like, hey, I really want to keep going to locals. Can you like stop peanut buttering the Tekken machine?
Really
All right.
odd behavior from everyone involved.
Would we blame it on him or would we
No,
blame it-
absolutely not.
No,
It's-
I know you had the possibility to stop it, but I don't think it's your fault. It's your brother's fault and no one else's.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those. Do you think he has like survivor's guilt now from like his Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah,
locals
for
shutting
sure.
down?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's still playing. Like to be a part of this story.
He's gotta
to,
make
like,
up for
share it
lost
and stuff
time,
like
baby.
that.
I'd be
Like,
traumatized.
is he like my brother vandalized our local when I never got to live out my childhood dream of, you know, summoning Kashtira Fenrir or something like that? Like,
Childhood dream effect. Yeah, no, I'd be psychologically damaged. I'd be like associating Maxi or whatever was popular at the time with like peanut butter. That seems grotesque. I grew up pretty poor, and I felt that I was dealt a bad hand as a kid. So I was pretty angry and I misbehaved a lot. Around 2011 to 2012, I was in like the 8th grade. I lived in a rundown apartment building and our floor was 3 rooms. An abandoned one to the right, my family's in the center, and to the left lived an old lady who we'll call the Cosmo Wicked Witch. On our floor, we also had an old school central garbage chute that you would throw trash down to some void in the basement.
This one's going to be hard for us to do, right? Because, you know, it's going to ask Gage to empathize with a poor person.
Joe, shut up, bro. No, shut up.
Can I just say, I grew up in exactly this, like, architecture. Projects, like, high-rise flat with, like, 7 houses, well, you know, apartments, and a garbage chute in the middle. That shit was terrifying.
Do you ever fall down the garbage chute?
No, dude, I was, like, always terrified that I would get caught in it or something and get sucked down. It was, yeah, that shit was... Thanks for the sound effect.
I will say I lived in a like after college I lived in a place with a garbage chute, and they had closed it off, and it was a 4th floor walk up and there was no elevator. And I remember every time I was taking garbage down, I was like, why don't they just fucking open up the goddamn garbage chute? And I'm pretty sure it's because, you know, maybe some little kid fell down and died or something, but you know.
There's a body down there, yeah. I always loved collecting and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And most disposable income that I came across at that age would just be invested in cards. I remember that this was the time when Dino Rabbits were popular. Do you know this kid, Gage?
No, I don't, but I'm glad he's a big Dino Rabbit fan.
I couldn't afford the rescue rabbits, so I went for the next best thing. Evols.
Oh, I was gonna say he's just playing Summon Sabersaurus, bro.
Double summon.
I know that these guys sucked, but I thought they were so cool, and I did everything that I could to buy the deck and get more staples. I started doing my friend's older brother's pizza delivery job whenever he wanted to call off work because he was too hungover or stoned. I didn't even know how to drive. Slowly over time, I was able to complete my deck, and I was so happy. I had all my cool dinosaurs and shiny staples in new yellow sleeves, and I had them all tucked away in a bright red Ultra Pro deck box. Since our apartment was tiny, I often played in the hallway. After all, it was just my family and a reclusive old woman. I was sorting through my cards when my mom called me in for dinner. I left that deck box with my new Evil deck in the hallway for not even 15 minutes. When I came back outside to the hallway to get my things, everything was gone. I began to panic, running back into the house, looking everywhere, asking my mom or siblings if they took it. No one had it. I looked everywhere, and there was no trace of my cards. We were the only people on our floor besides the old lady next to us. I've never had an interaction with her, but it must have been the only possibility. I knock on her door, and after a few seconds, she answers. I say, "Hi, Miss Wicked Witch, is there any chance you saw a red box in the hallway with some cards in it?" She says, "Yes, I did." Immediately, the sinking feeling I had was relieved. Thank God she found them. That's great. That was actually one of my toys. Can I have it back? I threw it out. I asked her if she can just take it out of her garbage, but she explained that she threw it down the trash chute. not just her trash can. I am almost crying at this point. Months of saving up, all gone. I tried to explain to her how much I worked for that and how valuable it is. I'll never forget what she said next. Without missing a beat, she coldly says, "Well, it looked like trash to me," and slammed the door in my face.
What if she was like a Yu-Gi-Oh player and she was talking about the list? She was like, "What the fuck is this Dino Rabbit with no rabbits? This is I'm doing you a favor, kid. Fucking hell, play Insector or something."
Real neat freak here, man. I swear, that's terrible. The only way to get down to that chute is you could go down to, at least from what I can remember from where I lived, you could go down to like the basement, like all the way into like the bottom floor, but then you'd have to like literally climb in and sieve through the garbage. I wonder if that ever occurred for him to do at that point. I fucking would have done it.
I'll tell you this, as a child, I would have done that shit for sure. Yeah.
After this, all I could see was red. I was furious. She was so uncaring and didn't offer anything in compensation. From this day forward, for months, I would dedicate my life to making this old lady's life hell. I would get up at night at 3 a.m. and sneak out of the apartment just to run over to her door and bang on it as loud as possible and run away. I would dump bags filled with trash in front of her door since she loved cleaning up so much. I went full-on menace mode. I covered her doorknob in Vaseline and all kind of dumb and weird pranks. All I wanted was an apology, but she stood her ground, saying that it was trash, and the only thing she's sorry about is that people would waste their money on such junk.
Oh, I hate that shit, bro. Come on, like, act like you don't have something you like a money sink for. Like,
she's probably a hoarder. That's what old people usually do. Yeah, I'd be super pissed off. Like, at some point, it's like, oh, okay, and maybe an accident, but she stood her ground, like, even after the 3 a.m. door banging. This went on for months until eventually I just gave up. I look back on this story fondly as childhood shenanigans. When I told this to my friend, he said I was fucked for doing that to an old lady. But he didn't understand how much that meant to me and how she just took it all in an instant and didn't care. Would I do it today as an adult? No. But if I could time travel, would I stop myself from torturing this evil woman? Absolutely not.
I think old people deserve to be bullied more, actually.
Yeah, okay. Let's get out ahead of the accusations here, and I want to make the position of myself and Gage and Farfa completely clear. Fuck them old people, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
You
bro.
sit on your ass and collect Social Security for, what, 15, 20 years. You walk out and, you know, pretty much all you do is invent new slurs to call minorities in your neighborhood. Man, someone needs to knock these people down a peg.
Driving up our property
honestly,
values.
I cannot believe this. Oh, well, it looked like trash to me, to be like, oh, well, that's nice for you to say. Fuck you, bitch. It wasn't trash. Like, what are you talking about?
The doorknob and Vaseline? Devious. I would have never have thought of something like that. That's hilarious, bro. I think if I'm having a bad day already and I'm on my way home and my hand slips off the doorknob, like I'm destroying something in my immediate vicinity, dude.
It probably fucked up her mental too, because she's like an old lady. She's like, now I'm even having trouble opening the door. I'm losing all my independence. The kid's like, ha ha ha, bitch, serves you right for my evil deck.
This is for Westlow.
What a bitch. You know, there's no other word for it.
I guess his friend was trying to call him out for being fucked up towards her with, like, all of the prank. I mean, I can understand being super angry, but, like, banging on an old woman's door at 3 a.m., I mean, that must be fucking terrifying, surely.
Good.
Maybe she got used to it. He could give her a heart attack or something. She could have she could have a heart attack or something.
Man. There are some old people that they have nothing better to do in their life, like, because it's already over, that they just are a pain in the ass. Like, that's just, like, what they do.
What do you mean it's already over?
Like I said,
you don't know what she's got going on. Maybe she's got, like, a nice knitting group or something she goes to.
Well, I feel like the kind of person who is policing what kind of trash is out in the hallway definitely is not going to a knitting group. I think they remind me of the type of person who, in America, we have this. They'll sit on their porch all day, and every person that walks by, they will call the cops on. I think it's possible that she knew exactly what they are. She knew they were game pieces, but she was, like, sick of the guy hanging out in the hall and being loud and playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's weird, though, because he did specifically mention that they'd never had, like, an interaction before that. So, yeah, I guess she'd just be stewing in her anger, like, oh, are these kids so loud talking about life points? I guess. My friend, Infernoble Knight Charles, and I had played Pokemon TCG together for a few years. Big mistake. Attending and topping a few regionals. Pokemon regionals are, like, big deal type thing.
They're like our
right?
YCSs,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they pay out cash. Did you know that? Kind of crazy.
Not bad. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! On the side for a bit, and one day, Charles tells me he wants to try it out. So I introduced him to the game. He picks it up pretty well, and over the next few months, we play and discuss our games in person and over Master Duel and DB. Fast forward about a year to November 2023, AGOV format. The local OTS is holding a Winnabox tournament, and Charles and I both enter. Him on Runic Stun, and I with a Striker Makanko first turn combo deck. I remember that deck.
Fun friend group here, bro.
Wait a minute, hold up.
We got Runic Stun and Stun with extra steps, right? That was the Acid Golem deck, I think, with Makanko, right? You make a Soul Ding?
That was the one, yep.
We both did great, which surprised us both. In the final round, he and I were paired against each other, and no other players had this record, guaranteeing us both top 3 for some prizing. Me and him talked and both planned to intentionally draw and see what would happen, essentially leaving it up to a coin flip to see who would get the box. For context, an intentional draw is a common practice used in the Pokemon TCG, but we planned on doing it in a weird way. We'd play the games out slowly and stall for time in Game 3, which is exactly what happened pre-time rules for a lot of YCSs. It went according to plan, and time got called in my main phase. However, I had the Makanko Ritual spell in my hand, and an idea flashed in my head. I activated the Ritual spell, popping Charles's Hugin, and burning for game. My friend got mad at me for it, and angrily started picking up his cards. He didn't say a word. He still ended up getting second, and didn't win the AGOV box, but he got 10 OTS packs. I pulled 2 copies of SP out of that box, so I gave one to Charles as an apology, which he accepted. But I still feel guilty about it. Am I the asshole?
Nah, I think you're in the clear now. I think
Whoa, no. Definitely yes.
offering the SP out of the box is totally fine. I think
And what if you hadn't pulled the SP? What if you hadn't
Well,
pulled
then-
the SP?
Then, honestly, bro, this is going to sound like a hot take, but I think 10 OTS packs is better than a box of AGOF.
depending on the polls, I
Okay,
guess.
well, if you agree on an ID and then you go back on the ID, yes, you're the asshole. I don't care about like the extenuating circumstances, like, oh, I won some cool cards and then I gave him the cards. No, you're an asshole for going back on your word.
Have you considered that, you know, he had the Ritual spell in his hand and like it was like a flash in the pan type of, wait, I have a
And he
burn
thought,
spell.
you know what if I lied? Listen, this is the way IDs work, is you decide on the ID beforehand, you do the ID, and then afterwards you can play the games out for fun. But you cannot get into a Game 3 situation and be like, and then we'll just slow play. One of these motherfuckers is going to fold. You have to be able to trust the person you're playing with. This person is not trustworthy, clearly.
Do you think everybody was aware they were IDing? Or do you, like, because, like, at what point, if you're IDing, why are you even playing the games at all? Like, why are you wasting my time? Why don't
Well,
you just
something you-
ID
ID
none
is
of-
illegal.
That's the thing. I was gonna say
Because you are
both-
not allowed to ID in Yu-Gi-Oh! So
Both-
they have to invent a little fucking Rube Goldberg way to ID. Here's a weird question. If they're both guaranteed top 3, why don't they just have an agreement outside of the game where they go, let's split the box. One of us is going to get first.
Yeah,
then
that's
we'll play
what
out
I
the
would
games
do.
for fun. One guy scoops, probably the guy with worse or with better breakers, so that the other guy's guaranteed first. And then you go, okay, now let's split the box. We'll play out the games.
For whatever reason, that just didn't occur to them because he specifically mentioned
Yeah,
that
because
we
this
would
guy's
just...
an asshole.
Well, being an asshole is out with the context of just not realizing you could do that instead of like, oh, let's leave it up to fate, because he specifically says we'll just let a coin flip essentially decide who wins the box, which
Also
I mean, that-
against the rules, by the way. You cannot do that.
yeah, I mean the most important thing is like you can't do that, but how like enforced are rules at locals really? That's the question. Have you never like seen IDing at locals? I think IDing at locals
I've
is
seen
arguably
IDing at
worse than
locals.
regionals and YCSs,
No,
to be honest.
what would always happen in my locals is we get to like a top 8 cut, and then everyone would just discuss like, hey, do we want to go home? And then they would split the prizing. And then,
God forbid we
everyone
play
would leave.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Jesus.
I mean, yeah, you got enough rounds of it. You don't want to do top cut. I get it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like incorrect to do this in the first place. But even if you are going to do this in the first place, to then like resend on it in game 3 because ooh, I drew a burn card. Ooh, that's definitely fucked up. But I suppose he pulled it together in the end because they essentially did split the box.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. I think you got lucky by getting 2 SPs out of that box there, but I think Joseph's actually right where it is kind of scummy to go back on your word.
What possesses him to do that though? Like, you had an agreement.
I guess like looking from
The
the
asshole
outside, right?
within.
If I was gonna say looking from the outside, if someone watches you play and they notice you have a way to like game, like it's a little bit embarrassing that you wouldn't follow through if they don't know you're intentionally drawing, but also like B, like it's obvious you're intentionally drawing at that point, right? Like if you don't play it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do if you see someone at locals trying to intentionally draw? Would you like say something?
I just let it. No, I let it.
What
happen.
am I'm not gonna fuck up a local.
Not that big of a deal.
Be
Yeah.
like, whatever. Especially if it's like top table. I'm like, well, I'm not really in contention anyway.
Okay, but like, I feel like IDing at locals is almost worse, right? Because number one, it's not allowed, and number two, like, you're just creating a really bad environment for the community because like you all know each other, right? Like IDing at a YCS, it's like, whatever, you don't know most of these people that you're probably fucking over, right? So at least there's that sense of detachment. Whereas at locals, it's like, these are the people you're gonna see week in and week out. You're creating a really bad environment for like the place that you go regularly.
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think some people are like, at locals, they're like, all right, hey, I want to go smoke a cigarette. Can you just ID? Like, can we just take a 40-minute break?
Smoke a cigarette for an ID is crazy.
Yeah. I don't think it's that big of a deal at a local.
Yeah, I think splitting a box or something is fine, but I don't know. It just seems a bit weird to like mess around like that when it is technically not allowed. Because a lot of people do things that are not allowed at locals anyway, right? Like the biggest example is telling each other what they have, right? Like, oh, so what are your responses type thing. Like they wait till like the end of the turn. It's like, okay, so what do I know you have? Like technically you can't like do that until like during the turn. Like you can't wait till like your turn and be like, oh, where did you set the flame or whatever? I think, can you? I don't think you can do that.
I'm actually not sure.
But people generally are like more open to like like takebacks, for example, I guess is probably a better example. People usually are okay with like some degree of takebacks at locals, which technically isn't allowed.
At a circuit series, there is no takebacks. Make sure you remember that one.
Well, I suppose that concludes our drama time for this week.
Anyways, I'm going to go spread some Skippy on the nearest Tekken machine.
Were you the brother?
No, I still can't believe that's real, though. There's no way people like that exist, dude.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in and watching. It's been a while since we did drama time, but if you did enjoy this and you'd like to see it come back, of course featuring Doug next time, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today for some personal reasons. He just didn't want to do the reading, you know how he is. Then let me know in the comments section, because this was always fun, and I don't really remember why. I think it was just like a lot of work involved with like reading some of your stories, because I just want to say half the emails you guys send are like this big dramatic like intro, and it's like, all right, the TLDR is like, we were almost late for round 1, so don't do that. Please. All right, thanks everyone, peace out, see you in the next one.